disaster, and they also interacted with the leaders in the community, the MP for KETA and also the MP for Anglo and K2 South, and also the MCEs. Today we're back, and before we start the official ceremony, which by the way has the presence of our group CEO and also all our bosses at Media General, we'll be interacting with the MP for Angloga and also the MCE for the Anglo traditional area, so they can speak to us about what has been done so far and the way forward. And so if you just tuned in, if you want to join in the conversation, the hashtag is TV3 New Day. We're streaming live on Facebook, and you can also find us on DSTV channel 279. I have with me here Seth Yomevu, and he is the Angloga District Chief Executive. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us. And also, Honorable Richard Kwame is the Anglo MP. Good morning to you as well, sir.
Good morning, my sister.
I'll start off with you, Honorable, because clearly minority in Parliament has not been too happy, especially because of the absence of the tidal waves conversation in the 2022 budget. I remember that, you know, one of the key members of the minority said that he found it very disturbing that it did not even make an appearance. And as a result, over the weekend, we saw what happened in Parliament, the rejection of the 2022 budget. Yesterday, minority released a statement, and they're saying that out of the 5 conditions, one of them would be the fact that they would expect, you know, the way forward in addressing tidal waves permanently in the 2022 budget before they will approve it. Tell us more.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity once again. I would like to use this platform to thank those who supported us since this disaster struck. I'm equally grateful to you for this opportunity. It is true that we, those who are for the minority group in Parliament, we are of the view that if issues of this nature happen, natural as it may look, it behooves of the government of the day to come and sympathize with the people. We knew that the regional minister represented the president in coming, but we are of the view that that is not enough. If you look at the situation where once upon a time in the Republic of Sierra Leone, when something of this nature happened, and the vice president of the Republic of Ghana went there with $1 million with other things or items to go and sympathize with the people of Sierra Leone. And what is happening here is even more of effect than what happened in Sierra Leone. And we are asking whether we are no more part and parcel of Ghana or whatever it is, that none of them, apart from the regional minister, not the president or the vice, none of them showed up here. So we were at loss whether we have committed any crime against this government. Look, let me tell you, my sister, when you go to Fuvama, where you people went yesterday, Jaflagbe and Co.
Yeah.
If you look at the 2020 result analysis, the people in Fuvama, first in history, over 80 to 90 of them voted for the MPP. And NDC had about 120-something votes. Even if MPP were to get 1 vote, it's even if it's 0, because the place is also part of Ghana, they have to be seen to. Now, always we have been making mention of KETA, Salakop and Co. But the real action, when you go on the ground, is seen around Fuvama. Pokpokbo is a community once occupied by over 360 people, which got washed away.
Wow.
And we helped to move them to Jaflagbe and a few other areas. Some went to Adna. As if that was not enough, here we came to meet this Fuvama issue again. Fuvama is also 90% gone.
Submerged, exactly.
And nobody is showing any interest. And we are saying that, oh, let's assume that we say the place is not safe for human habitation now. Can we now relocate the people? Fine. Even if we are going to relocate the people, let us protect the coastline of Ghana. That is our beef now. So, knowing this and coming up with budget that you will not make mention of this, and you expect myself as an MP for Anglo, my friend from KETA, and then our sister from KETA South to also support this budget. The people who sent us there they will not see us.
But the Honorable Minister of Housing, Honorable Asenso, said that he had spoken to the Finance Minister. In fact, he had laid to bear the real situation. I was hoping that it would represent in the budget. He's not sure what happened and even apologized. But he says, regardless, it doesn't mean that we're not going to fix the problem.
You know, for the Honorable Minister Asenso, I wrote to him personally in my capacity as the MP for Anglo. What I wrote to him somewhere June, that he should send his people, his technical people, to come and assess conditions, because I realized that almost every year such things happen, especially in August.
Yeah.
So I wrote the letter at the back of the mind that for the past 5 to 6 years, the dredging which used to be done at the mouth of the River Volta ceases. When we wrote to VRA and they came to organize a workshop for us, they made it clear to us that they stopped dredging because the dredger got spoiled. And the dredger will be maintained or repaired by the close of August, and that by September, November, they will come to start the dredging. Look, if you could permit me, I drew something here that I want to show to the good people of Ghana.
All right.
To appreciate.
When you're done, then we bring in the MCA.
This is a diagram depicting the current state of the Jita-Puvama coastline. And if the camera could help us, this is the River Volta flowing into the Gulf of Guinea. This is the sea, the Gulf of Guinea. Before then, there was a community that I mentioned here called Pokpokbo.
Yeah.
This is the current Puvama here. Normally, if the river flows into the sea, what it does is that the sea sometimes goes down and the river level will be up. So it will force the velocity of the river to flow very fast if there are no salts here. So if the dredging is done, or those days, if the dredging is done, the river flows freely. And if it flows freely, what it does is that it breaks the tidal waves here. If it's done, it means the areas that are marked here, you could see that the effect of the sea waves will not be felt here. So Pokpokbo was here. Because the dredging stopped and the sea continued to bash the coastline, Pokpokbo is gone. As Pokpokbo is gone, the river could not flow as it used to be. So what is happening now is that it starts to eat away sections of the Puvama land up to this point. When they did the first revetment or the sea defense, what happened was that it was done up to the eastern side of Jita, and leaving the western side of Jita to the whole Puvama. Somebody may ask, why is it that Adan is not being affected? Because Adan is also, the estuary is also here. Fortunately for Adan people, about 5-6 years ago, they have gotten the benefit of the sea defense. And you can see the grants here. The grants were able to protect the Adan lands now, leaving the eastern corridor to the distant. So as a result, this is the effect we are having. Now, we are saying that if care is not taken, by next year or two, the whole Puvama will go. The Jalpagbe that you people went to, we move the basic school here to Jalpagbe, to this area.
Exactly.
And the sea has gone to destroy this school too. And there is a community in between Jita and Puvama, which we call Atitati. Atitati is also likely to go if immediate actions are not taken. So what is happening is that you can see these areas. It is called, I key it as areas liable to flooding. The River Volta here, because the dam was constructed, all these places, if the river flows and the Bagri Dam is open, it comes to either empty itself into the sea or the areas that are liable, it comes to cover them.
Wow.
What happened was that because the river cannot flow anymore, all these places, if you go now, they are all flooded. So our communities like Shima communities, Koma communities, all over, they are all flooded. Look, normally or formally, South Tong has not suffered any sea attacks before. But because of this, there is a community here called Gamanu and Havi. The sea has gone to attack them now. Ooh. What is happening now again is that the flora and fauna, that's the mangroves and these things, they don't like too much salt water. So what happens is that when you go there now, we are losing those vegetations because the seawater is going to affect all these places.
Okay.
That is the situation we are having now.
All right.
So we are not saying that they should come and protect with the people of Anglon here, but they should come and protect the coastline at least, and the flora and the fauna that are found here should also be protected. People might not know why some of us are into this complaining. You know, there are some fishes in the sea, they don't lay their eggs in the sea because of the turbulent nature of the sea. So what happens is that they come to these areas around the estuary, they come to sponge. That is the laying of their eggs. They come to sponge it here. If the eggs are hatched, then they are the figurines or whatever are now brought into the bigger sea. That is the nature. So the benefit is enormous. It's not only
a small community.
I may say constricted to only the people of Anglo that are our benefits.
Let me bring Honorable Yamevu in, because I remember that the Deputy Majority Leader filed an urgent question in Parliament, and he asked for the presence of the Housing Minister to even come and update Parliament on when the phase 2 of the Blekusu project will start, and, you know, moving forward, issues about tidal waves. A lot of people were expecting that at least for the 2022 budget, tidal waves would make a representation. Yesterday when we went to Japlagbe, they were very disappointed, because they said that you saw what happened to them, and they would have expected that just because people have lost their lives and their properties, governments would have paid closer attention to them and at least apportioned some amount of money to start the sea defense for them. But that hasn't happened. Why?
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Before I start, let me also commend the Media General and the Early Beach Resorts for today's program. I want to correct some expression by my honorable MP. Concerning maybe the government is not concerned about what is happening. It's not true. Because
it's not true?
It's not true.
Well, we haven't seen the presidents. We haven't seen the vice president.
Please let me come in. I represent the president here. When this incident happened, always I am there, reporting to my regional minister. From there also, regional minister also came. And we went to the people of Uveme. And a lot of government officials, the Deputy Director General of NANBO was here. The boss of NANBO too was here. So if that expression is being created that maybe we didn't take the people serious, that's the expression I want to correct.
Sir, with all due respect, not to interrupt, but then if this was an election year, we would have seen the presence of the president and the vice president. Would we not have?
Yes, what I'm saying is that we represent the president here. I represent the president. So anything that happens here, I have to be in the shoe of the president. So whenever I am there, more or less, I am the president there.
What prevented them from coming?
Please, what happened is that you know that the president went on leave before this incident happened. When it happened...
It was after.
Are you sure?
It was after.
Please, I don't want to be stretching these things too much, because, and what happened is that the vice president was around and the regional minister came and stand in the shoes of the president and the vice president. So that's why I'm saying that we should not look at this issue maybe because when we want this program, we are starting this program, I feel that it's something concerning our people. So we should not bring this type of this person is not there.
Let me just say that
yeah.
we received that statement from Mr. Eugene Ahin from the presidency that the president was supposed to proceed on leave on November 13.
Yeah.
Tidal wave struck on November 7.
That's why I'm saying that if the president didn't come, I was here.
But that's the point, which is what I'm asking. I mean, let's not belabor about the points, but at least let's make it clear that if this was an election year, and the people in Japragbe said it, that when it's election, you see the creme de la creme in all these parties come and ask us for our votes. But something like this happens to us, and now the excuses as to why the president couldn't come, the vice president couldn't come. Don't you think that would at least have eased their, the tension in these communities, at least?
So we, the people representing them, if we are there, so are we also not doing what the president will come and do? It's the same thing. That's why I'm saying that I represent the president, and the regional minister also represent the president in the region. When this issue happened, they all came. Because this issue at Fufema is not today's issue. Let's be frank to ourselves.
Yeah.
This issue is there more than 15 years. But what happened is that as now Fufema come to limelight, it was not done previously before. So always people are just mentioning KETA and then Salakope. This Fufema issue was there 15 years ago.
True.
So at the end, that's why I'm saying that let's look at it and see how best, because this is the time we are all giving attention to Fufema. At the media cycle and at the public cycle. Because usually people don't know that there is a community called Fufema. But we, the people who are here, we know that.
But at least this conversation has been about the people in KETA, in KETA South, and in Angola as well. The question is, why did it not make a show in the 2022 budget? At least so that these people know that government cares and is putting together some funds to provide that sea defense. Because they're saying that they're not moving. Even if you try to relocate them, it's pointless, because relocate them to, further inside, and the water will still come and meet them anyway, because they're still between the Volta Lake and the sea. So what's the point in relocating them if the best solution now is to provide that sea defense?
Yeah. What happened is that concerning the budget issue, I think that one there we have to leave it for the MP. But then what I also know is that budget is just a process. They have done a lot before this incident happened in this nature. So at that time they have completed the budget, everything for presentation. Before this, the way we are seeing it today happen.
Could we not have amended it?
That's why we are saying that it's something there should be dialogue between Ministry of Finance and then the minority side and the majority side. As we have just said, the majority, I think, is the deputy majority leader, Apenyo, brought this issue that at the end, the lasting solution has to be made for these issues. So at the end, and I learned also that when the Minister for Finance went to Parliament, they want to dialogue with the two parties, the majority and then the minority, so that they will see how best, so that the KETA TIDAL wave issue can also feature in the budget, maybe in terms of review of the budget. Those things can come in. So I feel that this is the thing all of us have to come together with that united front, not to antagonize maybe government don't want to help the people at Fufema.
But that's the perception.
That perception is not right, my sister. I know it's not right. Because we know, that's why I'm saying that this problem at Fufema is about 15 years ago.
Why has it taken so long for the defense walls?
So that's why we are saying, as Fufema is coming to attention and the limelight now, all of us have to dialogue, see our way forward. Because it is also my wish that my people at Fufema to be free, because this incident is recurring every year. So I feel that in preparation of the budget, as we have said, he has done before, the intensity of this issue. So the best thing, there should be dialogue. That was the Minister of Finance was there to dialogue with them, see the way forward, what they can also do, because we know that this tidal wave issue is not only in Volta region, it's in Western region, Central region, throughout all the coastal lines.
Yeah.
They have started some of the projects, but other ones also need to come to limelight, so the government can find the needed resources for those projects to be
But how soon is this going to happen? Because again, like I'm saying, these people are saying we're not moving, we're staying here. Unfortunately, they've lost lives. In fact, in Japan, they say they lost 3 people. Okay, but they're saying we're not going anywhere. This is our home, and so we expect government to do something about it immediately. How soon should we expect this?
That's why I'm saying that I want to appeal to my honorable MP that he's from the minority side. He's from the area. He knows what my people are going through. So he also to talk to the minority leaders that at the end, this is the government who want to do something for people of Uganda. So they should allow the finance minister to come on with whatever he has for them. If maybe KETA will not be there, Angloga will not be there, before they take it up from there.
Professor Pianin has said, and he is, by the way, the director of Institute for Environment and Sanitation Studies. I'm sure you've heard that he said that constructing the sea defense wall and completing the KETA project is not the permanent solution because it will only transfer the problem to another community. So we need a holistic approach to this. What do you say to this?
Because they are the experts. Because the issue is that look at what happened at KETA, though they have protected the area. But at the end, the last other wave also gets even applied at Agabati, they have protected that place also. But now it is affecting Salakope. Our area too, when it comes to Atoko area too, that place too was protected. But when it goes to Adam, that place too was protected.
Yeah.
But now it's moving to Puvema, to Jita. So I feel that that's why we need the technical men on the field. If it is not going to be the sea defense, then they should advise government what government needs to do. So that at the end, this thing will be the thing of the past from the coast.
You are the MC in this area. Have you seen these professionals come in to assess the situation since this happened?
Yes, okay. Last, I think when Works and Housing Committee of the Parliament, they visited this place. Some engineers also follow them. And last to when it happens to the EPA and those people too, they came in that they want to go and do some assessment, and at the end they advise accordingly. Okay. So some people are visiting our community in relation to all those things.
But we still don't have timelines yet as to when this is going to
be. For that one, I will not have any timeline.
But this is an emergency. It could strike again. Let me bring Honorable Sepe in. It's an emergency. It could strike again. Now these people are saying that they're disappointed not only in the current government, but in all governments, because this thing has been happening. 96 is when it started. 2016, they say that happened, and that is when they had to move from Puveme into Ajaple. I think I got that name right, I hope. Okay. And so for them, what's the point? Because they keep asking for the sea defense wall to be constructed. And now it seems as if minority has gotten a louder voice in parliament asking for it. But when you were in government, you didn't do anything to safeguard their lands for them.
Thank you very much.
Carry on, carry on. I apologize. I mean, we're in a community. We're getting ready for the Foundation, Media General, and LB Resorts. And of course, with your help, those donations came in handy, and we're grateful. And so we have a track moving. So if you're hearing that noise, then that's probably what the reason is. But carry on, Honorable Sepe.
Thank you very much. As said by my DCE, it is true that problem has been more or less a yearly ritual. And people are also right in saying that if it were to be election year, we will have been trotting there virtually every day. Unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, you realize that this annual problem used to surface itself usually in August. And you know, elections are always held in December. So politician knows when to go there. The people complain, after the complaint, the sea subside, then you go there. Yeah. That has been the trick. To me, I think that has been working for them very well.
It's been working for you as well. They are not leaving you out. They are saying you had a long time in government.
Yes.
What did you do about it? Nothing.
No, we did something.
What did you do for the people in Fuveme? How communities are met?
No, we did something.
Okay.
It is not a 9-day wonder. They just don't wake up and that thing happen. There is a committee called Aklo Toko. when you are going there, you could see that there were some grinds constructed, and you see a very long one which protected the coast. That's why we call it revetment. The revetment was done up to the end of Aklotoko, and it was supposed to continue up to Puvama when we lost power. You understand? So we were thinking, when as MPP came to power, they will be able to continue towards the west and continue the phase 2 of the Kusu side 2. Unfortunately, the sea will not see our MPP NJC color. It continues to bash us. That is where we are now. I was the presiding member for this assembly for a number of years before my friend even came. It is as a result of some of those things that when we were doing the relocation, we even brought the basic school further towards either Jaflagbe or the end of the Puvama.
That school is destroyed.
Yeah, fortunately, the school it's my friend who came to roof the school. He just roofed the school about 3 months and the place got.
So they packed the roof to one side because
so
the building has collapsed.
When you look behind that particular building, there is another building which is being
constructed
by the KETA. Unfortunately, when they came, they didn't know that the city was to that extent. So I must be frank with you that the governments over the years, we have not helped ourselves. We thought it's former people who might have been undergoing this. If you go there now, you don't know whether you don't know where they are living. Former too, they are also going away. That is the problem. You have to put it rightly. If we should relocate the people to, let's say, we say between Anyangwe and Tunu, when you go behind that place, the river water is also there, and it's also flooding the area already. How long are we going to continue with this? That is why, look, let me tell you, when you go to Tegbi was not used to be in the picture. But Tegbi is also suffering the same Anglonga here. If you go to the shoreline of Anglonga, the sea starts to eat it away again. What we have to do is that, as a government, let's do the conscious effort. But at any time, every year in the budget, we put something there. So that even if it should be done 2-3 kilometers every year, I think we'll be able to protect the shoreline.
But you'll be transferring the problem, which is what Professor Apienin said, that we need to find a holistic approach to this, because really constructing a sea defense wall is not the permanent solution to the problem.
Some people are of the view that there could be a proper way of solving this by dredging along the whole stretch of the coastline.
Yes.
They thought if it's dredged, you know, what people believe is that if there is any intervening obstacle before the sea waves will be able to destroy that intervening obstacle. So they are of the view that as harbors and what have you are constructed, if the dredging is done along that area, it means the sea will not carry that massive force to be hitting the ground. That is one school of thought. Another school of thought is saying that for now, government says no money. Let the VRA, which has the mandate to be doing the dredging, continue with the dredging. I was reading some literature yesterday night. I realized that a lot of works were done there in terms of literature work. But to put those ideas into practice is what is happening now. For the Volta region, we don't want to sound political this morning. Too political, but I will sound a bit political, though.
You earlier said you don't want to sound political.
I don't want to sound too political.
Carry on.
But I will sound small political this time.
Okay.
So
a minute. We will get to you soon. Okay. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you're outdoor. I'm sure they're all waiting, looking forward to the donations that will be presented to them shortly. But carry on, Honorable Sefe.
Thank you very much. So, for Volta region, for instance, if you look at the budget, government constructed about 40-something astroturfs in some regions of Ghana. And they propose constructing another, I think 78 or so. But you not see one Volta region town being mentioned. Meanwhile, in the 2020 budget, the president mentioned it clear that those things should be constructed in the whole country. I was of the view that if it is the whole country and we are having 16 regions, we should be having 2 as of now, but nothing of the sort. That is with respect to Astroturf. Could you remember in 2018, the same government said they forgot about us in the whole budget. 2018, perhaps we might have forgotten. They couldn't capture a line for Volta region. So when we confronted the finance minister, then he went back and brought an addendum into the budget. Now the budget was able to capture Volta region in terms of roads. But as we are talking now, none of those roads, none of them has been constructed. Look at
If you want to bring that in, so, again, this community, they don't have electricity. Since Ghana gained independence till now, no electricity. In fact, we stayed there till almost 7 p.m. and it was pitch black. Okay, so if you want to play politics with this, then we can go that way and say that, then why did you also not provide? They don't have a clinic, they don't have roads. Your government, your party was in power for a long time.
Very well.
You didn't provide that for them
very
either.
Well. You know,
so at this point, we cannot make someone else look black when you also didn't do exactly what you're supposed to do for the same people.
As I was saying, I said we started few things. Extending the grounds towards the west, which my friend's party in government now stopped. They stop it. Go to the Blakusu. What caused them to stop the Blakusu one? He, for now, I can refer him as the president. The proposal he has made now. He's the president of the area. What has he done?
What did you do in terms of electricity, in terms of providing a clinic?
As I'm
bringing all those in as well.
Yes,
because listen,
you are right.
They're saying, and you are aware, that even if a pregnant woman is in labor, she has to walk for 40 minutes, 45 minutes to the next community, or has to get in a boat on the River Volta to find a clinic. That is disheartening.
My sister, let me be frank with you. Anglican, where we are now, Anglican. You go to some sections of Anglican, we don't have electricity there.
But that's a problem.
That is a problem. That is why some of us say we should come to the scene to help let me be frank with you. This one, I must give it to myself and my brother. What we are doing here today is because of our efforts. That one, let's be frank. I was thinking that if we had developed this kind of rapport with the media all these years, we would have gone over some of these challenges. That one, truth be told. But we are saying that we as people of Anglican district, and now that you are exposing some of our weaknesses, it should be brought to the fore of the assembly members, the MP, the DCE, that it's not enough for you to say you are representing the people, then you go and sit at a corner somewhere. You should be seen talking as we are doing now.
And acting as well.
And acting and making the follow-ups. So for now, I'm of the view that, fine, the media generals here, other media houses also came to help, but it's not enough. For instance, when we cried that the people needed food supplies and beddings and what have you, people came in, and you have also brought this one. I don't know how to even count it. It's very, very huge. But we are saying that now we have to start moving from food supplies to provision of temporal sheds and those tents, because I think they have received enough food items for now.
So they need shelter.
They need a shelter. And we have the view that it will not be enough for us to go to where the sea is destroying those available structures there. Let's go to a new place to start putting up a few of these things, and I think it will be good to go.
Okay, let me come to Honorable so I get your final words on this particular issue. So before, because Cookie is on standby, should be speaking to some of the victims of the tidal wave. They are all here to receive these relief items. Let me hear from you finally in a few seconds. So
thank you for the opportunity again. As said by my honorable MP, this morning it's not good for us to be doing politics because our people are in distress. We need to see how best we can support them. On the government issue, at times, that's why I feel that we need not to be politicizing it. When you talk about water, it was during Kufuor's time before water was sent to that community.
But you are also playing politics with this.
That's why I don't want him to be going to.
So let's not go in at all.
We should not go in.
Let's talk about what we need to do
because
for
when we
the
talk
people.
about what is happening for women now, that school building, they don't have classroom block.
They don't.
It's this government that gives them quota 3-unit classroom block, which they are constructing before the sea.
But they already had a classroom block at the old Fuverme that was also
block,
washed away.
The history between that pavilion, as he said, when it was done during their time, if you look at that pavilion, I came. Then before we restart all those things.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying is that let's see what we can do so that our people are Fuverme and all the coastal community where tidal wave is issue is a problem there. Let's see how best
resolve it
so that we can solve it.
He says shelter. Where do we place these shelters? Because these people also don't want to move. They don't want to relocate.
It will not end today. Because if you look at the KETA one, it traveled like 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
The Agaveji, Blakusu and those things. It takes so many years.
Okay.
So what we need to do, I and him, is that we still have to continue engaging the people, especially with the stakeholders, so that at the end, to do for us.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. I've been speaking to Honorable Seth Yomevu. He's the Angloga District Chief Executive. And Honorable Richard Kwame Sefe is the MP for Anglo constituency. And shortly, we'll be speaking to the Afadjato South DCE, also the rep of the regional minister, to update us on what is happening, of course, at the moment. But before that, Cookie is on standby. She'll be interacting with some of the victims of tidal waves. Good morning, Cookie.
Men and children, and as you can clearly see this morning, most of them here are also women. I don't even see where the men are, so I'm just going to start speaking to this lady right here, Davi Merekuku Indina. Mereku mefon yare Merekuku indicate fika cho ape vafi. So I'm just quickly asking her if I can get a microphone for her to speak. I'll be very grateful. I'm asking her where she's coming from this morning because it's really important that we establish that fact. Tamebere fika echo. Manage. Okay. I'm asking how 8 people, because of course she's got 6 children, plus her and her husband, that's 8 people. I'm asking how many mattresses they've got. She says they've got 2. And I said, 2 mattresses for 8 people. How are you managing? And she says the kids get to sleep or stay on the mattresses and they also sleep. She and her husband, they sleep on those locally manufactured mats. Davi Akpenao. Matamponuna. Nyonuha Nyonuga Indina Olo Miracle Wonkore. Okay, Monica. Makobe de Vidaka La Tajina, 1 minute last year. 1 minute. 3, the rest of the 3 they finole. Ola Fama, Omala school dawa.
O school in Gakalaka, Chapova, school hot school Yamaga GMU.
Okay, that indicate Fikacho Vafi.
Newton.
Okay, Newtown. Female Chovan indicate.
Newton.
How many years ago? Yeah, first I for dislocate me.
2 years.
2 years. Yeah, Fifilai. If me here letter at for dislocate me Fifilai.
Marakui.
Ta any mom local mure, let me manage.
Marakui, I want my son because Chapova Gramia for no more sugar. Tanwo furam nami.
E doka wele.
Maraku ashi chala kunyami.
Maraku ebe?
Machanashi.
Oh, echanashi.
Maraku.